I'm sure this is going to come as no surprise to anyone if you watch my last video. I quit fired from Redcon. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, I'm gone. I left Redcon. I say quit fired because the situation of how it happened is kind of weird. You guys will have to just wait for me to explain that. But yeah, I'm finally free, bro. I'm This is equally as good as it is bad because I was earning hours there for my my trade school, and now I'm fucked because I need a place to work to actually earn those hours to graduate on time. But at the same time, who wants to be a delivery driver and just waste their golden years of learning how to be a journeyman doing this nonsense? But it was insane. I recorded the footage, but I think it either got corrupted or I forgot to click record on OBS. So I'm recording it 2 days later. I was definitely, when I first recorded it, I was emotional. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got fired." But yeah, like I quit fired. So let me explain. About a week ago, this is weird. Like I said, we're going by weeks. Sometime after I had talked to HR, I think it was right before I got fired. It was like sometime in a difference between a week in from there and out from there. It's just in the middle. That's all you need to know. I got cut off. I was heading down a road, and the way our drive cams work is you can go 10 over and it won't wake up the camera. If you end up going, like, I think it's 13 is the absolute limit to where the camera will flick on and record you driving at that speed. But you can speed 9 over and the camera's not going to go over. So I was going, I think I was going 59 and a 50. I remember I was just, chilling. And it was about like 8 or 9 in the morning. I was headed down towards Baltimore to a certain supply house. And this lady in a minivan, she pulls out in front of me. And then the first thing I do is, "You effing," and then I say a word, I say a slur you're not supposed to say. I see the camera flash red, which means it's recording the last 10 seconds of what happened. I'm like, "Oh shit." In my head, I'm like, this may or may not get me fired because I have done it before where I've cussed at the camera and, like, the safety guy sees and he's like, "You were speeding, but you didn't cause an accident," so. And this is really weird because the normal safety guy, he seemed to be on my side, but his boss, he kind of wasn't a fan of me after I got the first suspension when I crashed out and started, driving the way I did. I feel like the HR lady had sent him an email and been like, watch JTM to make sure he doesn't set off the camera, because if he does, we're looking for any reason to fire him. Prior to me getting quit fired, I'll call it that, like I said, I had that meeting at HR's office, and HR bitch lady literally said to me, she said, "JTM, any other outbursts and that'll be it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And the weird part was me cussing at this lady with that slur. It wasn't even listed on the reasons I got fired. One of the reasons I got fired was getting shocked. Yes, I got written up. It was violation of company safety standards for getting shocked, for not properly checking to make sure that, the part was not energized. The second one, the other two ones were from, like I said, when I had that crash out and I started driving crazy for 2 days setting off the camera. They just used two separate, like, events from when it happened, hard braking or, parking somewhere I wasn't supposed to be parked and stuff like that. Three strikes and you're out. And I think they, obviously saying the curse word, the racial slur in the car when that lady pulled out in front of me. She did pull out in front of me, but I was low key speeding, so we're both at fault. I don't know how she found out. Like, it couldn't have been the safety guy. It must have been his boss. Yeah, so that happened. Like I said, I came in. It was a Monday. So I'm in the back of the warehouse, and low key, like, my boss has been on vacation for a week. So it's actually been fun. It was Ron. Yeah, Ron was on vacation for a week. So I come in, I'm chilling upstairs, and then he's like, "Hey, JTM, come on, let's go." I'm like, "Oh, where are we going?" He's like, "We got a meeting." And I'm like, "Oh shit." The way our office is set up is if you're walking back towards the front of the office to where the front doors are, whenever we have visitors or corporate coming in, if you turn right, that goes towards Ron's office. If you go forward, that goes to the HR lady's office. I knew that if we had taken a right and talked to his office, probably wasn't going to get fired, I guess, or something like that. But as we walk back, I remember, like, I thought to myself, like, if I need to take action, it needs to be now. Because I think a firing doesn't look good on your record, and especially on my conscience. I'm not one to unnecessarily lie to people. I have started lying to people only when it makes sense or benefits me. And I know it's not going to, like a white lie, to people that, like, I wouldn't really lie to my family necessarily, but you know what I mean? Like, I lie when it's necessary. So we're going back towards, we're walking. On the threshold, we pass the right, and then we go past this cubicle. And in that moment in my head, I'm like, oh shit. Because I remember HR lady said to me, she's like, if you have to see me one more time, you're going to get fired or whatever. So as we're walking and we pass the cubicle, I stop at the intersection. I say, hey, Ron, I hand him my company phone. I said, I quit. I'm like, no, first thing I said is, I know where this is going. I quit. That's what I said to him. And he's like, you quit? And I said, yeah, I hand him my phone. And then I turn around and walk away. And I had the key ring for, when you want to get into extra after hours. So I start walking back to the warehouse. I got my backpack and my water because I had brought those two things in. And I put my key ring down by like the toolbox or whatever for my coworker when he scraps up. And I'm talking to him. And he's in disbelief. He's like, you quit? I'm like, yeah, I quit. Because I knew she was going to fire me. I knew she was. So I'm talking to him. I'm kind of trying to like get the fuck out of there because I don't want to be trespassing on property I'm not supposed to be because I'm not no longer welcome there. I guess I told my coworker I quit. Yeah, and he's got this crazy look on his face because I told him all the time how I'd be quitting or leaving to another company, and he thought I was bullshitting because I mean I sort of was. I was waiting to get an offer letter from someone else, which the other company that I applied to that I talked about that I had an interview. Now I just found out that they are full for the season, which sucks because if you're a tradesman, applying in the winter can suck ass. You definitely want to apply in the summer when it's hot and they need helpers, but let bygones be bygones. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. So as I'm walking out, I see Ron come out. He has this paper with the corrective action form. He's like, just so you know, you're gonna be terminated for, your use of inappropriate language and slurs in the car directed towards another driver or something like that. And I'm just like, okay. I'm not gonna argue with Ron because it's really fucking stupid that he's saying, oh, you're terminated, when before we even made it to HR's office, before I even said anything to Ron or made contact with the HR lady or knew what the meeting was about. I had a good idea, but I could never prove what the meeting is about. I'm just saying that to logically think about it, but obviously, yeah, she was gonna fire me. I had a 99% chance intuition that was gonna happen, and look, that's what happened. Does it technically count as a firing or a quit? Because before we even made it to HR's office, I literally said like, "Oh, I quit. I quit." So yeah, shit. So Ron, I said okay, and then I left. I left. Some of the installers looked at me, and some of them had a little bit of widened eyes because they're like, "Oh my god, like JTM actually fucking quit." So I left, and it was funny because that was a text I got from the other place near Baltimore. They're like, "Oh, you have a job interview. Are you available at this time?" So I went to go get that job interview. It was cool. Then I went to another place to put in my job application, which is all right. I'm expanding my options, and after that, yeah, I got a response back from that Baltimore place. They said, "Hey, we're not hiring right now because we're going into slow season." I'm like, damn, that sucks ass. So then I applied to a couple other places, and here I am, dude. I'm fucking unemployed, and I don't know. It's just it makes me. It's so interesting that this company would say like he tried to fire me after I quit because I really want to know your guys' opinion in the comments. If you're walking to this is literally the exact scenario that happens. If you're walking to HR's office and then you literally say, I quit before you even go into HR's office, is that counted as like a firing still because you preemptively had an idea that you were going to get fired, but they can't prove it because you couldn't have possibly known 100% like known in the future as if you were God that you were going to get fired. So that's, yeah, like I said, I didn't know I was going to get fired, but I quit right before they had the chance to. And I was just like, that's what I thought. I was like, how is Ron going to fire me when I literally said I quit to him about 3 minutes prior to that? I'm like, that's so fucking stupid that he tried to fire me. Whatever. Fuck Ron, seriously. I just fuck him, dude. Fuck that dude. I don't even have and that's the thing. I don't have the drive or the anger to just argue with these people because I know they suck ass. And why would I even want to argue with them over a stupid issue like that? Like, oh, you can't you can't fire me. I quit, which is what I did. But yeah, I'm finally free. So I am currently unemployed. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but yeah, I'm safe. I still, like I said, I get VA payments, disability, so that'll kind of cover me, but it's like that's like half of what I would normally make because I get paid every week. So yeah, versus getting one check at the end of the month, that's not even half of what I would make, 3/4 of what I would make in a normal paycheck. So yeah, I don't know what to do, y'all. Shit, being unemployed is fun, but that's a little update for you. I finally quit fired from Redcon. Literally fuck that company. I'm so glad that, well, it sucks because I want to be stacking HVAC hours, but at the same time, it feels so demeaning to do a job every day that you just hate. Like, and I actually hated my job. I hated being in the warehouse because every morning I would help pull material for the installers, like a disconnect switch or a roll of copper tubing or all this material that they need. So I would do my job in the warehouse, helping them offload units off the truck and helping support the installers get to their jobs. And it felt like being a cuck, really, just watching someone else do what I want to do when I have the capability, I have the drive, I have the discipline, I have the drive for learning. I want to be there with them, doing the action and learning and actually installing equipment. It just felt like I said, it felt cucked watching someone else do the job that you were meant to do or you want to do. Because it taught me that if you work as a delivery driver, you work at a warehouse, you work at Amazon, you work at FedEx, you work as like a janitor or a cleaner, all these unskilled jobs, you're so replaceable. That's why learning a skill, like I said, being a plumber, being an HVAC, being a roofer, being a carpenter, being a brick mason, being a concrete worker, yeah, concrete pouring. Those jobs are so important because no matter what anyone tries to take away from you, they can never take away your skills and experience and your knowledge in the trade. So that's why, like I said, I'm trying to be valuable. But seriously, fuck Redcon, fuck those corporate people. They just fuck them, dude. Seriously. And I'll tell you guys, I mentioned this a little bit, but it's a good experience because now I know that when you work in a corporate setting, you just have to be fake. You have to be fake. You have to withhold information and act like everything's going just fine and you're the best little employee. So that's a tip for you guys. But yeah, finally fucking free from that place. So I guess though you'll see more uploads more consistently. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll let you guys know on the update what the new job is whenever I get it, because I've applied to like 4 different places. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know. Let me know down below. Was it a quit? Was it a quit firing? Is that what you call it, or did I quit or get fired? I don't know. Just yeah, let me know, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.